Am I the a-hole for telling my family that I forgive them and then going back to ignoring them? I'm not rich. I don't have an influential job. I am a regular guy with a regular life. About 10 years ago, I had a falling out with my family. They took money that should have gone to me and spent it on my brother. He needed a lawyer, and my money from my grandfather's estate was just sitting in a regular account. The will was kind of crappy and said the money should be distributed by need. So, my need for a little stability was superseded by my brother's need for a lawyer for his third DUI. Whatever, it wasn't a huge amount of money, just $10,000, but it would have helped me build a buffer. I said that what they were doing was BS. I went to a lawyer and for $300, he told me that it would cost me more to get that money than I would eventually receive. So I said screw it and moved on. Once again, I'm not rich and I have an average job. But 10 years of plugging away with few distractions helped me build up a little nest egg. I did start ignoring my family drama though. I still showed up for some holidays, but that's it. Then my brother used my parents' car because his had a built-in breathalyzer. He hit another car. No one was seriously injured, thank God, and he didn't want to get caught, so he did a hit and run. Long story short, he needs a lawyer. But our parents decided not to tell the cops that he took the car without permission. So insurance won't cover anything. If they admitted he stole it, then he would face consequences. But they would get their car fixed or replaced, and the people in the other car wouldn't be suing them for medical bills and other expenses. My parents reached out to me for help. I said no. They said that 10 years is a long time to hold a grudge, and that I need to forgive them. So I said that I completely forgave them for taking money that should have been mine and wasting it on him. I forgave them completely and wholeheartedly for always picking him over me. I said I forgave them for making sure I had to struggle so he wouldn't have to. I then told them they couldn't have any money and that they were probably screwed financially. They were most likely going to lose their home and whatever they had saved for retirement. I don't know if they can change their minds and admit my brother is a thief. I don't know anything about lawyers or cops or any of that. I just don't think I owe them anything beyond the same sort of apology they gave me when they stole my money. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your brother is an unrepentant drunk and your parents are enabling him. Stand firm and give them no money. I'm not giving them a cent. They wanted me to forgive them. They got that. I thought it was pretty generous. I think in most places hit and run is a felony, and I believe aiding and abetting is frowned upon as well. Turn them all in, and you'll get him off the road with no more DUIs and a safer environment for other people, as well as hopefully a nice long recuperation time for him behind bars. Also, forgive doesn't mean forget. Almost forgot, not the a-hole, but the rest of your family? He's being charged with that, I believe. I don't know all the details, but he is in deep trouble. A lawyer won't help much. Even now, the golden child doesn't have to pay for his actions. Your parents pay for them and expect everyone else to as well. They created the monster, and they can pay for it. It's not on you to ruin everything you've saved up for to, again, bail your brother out of trouble. If they'd been less coddling and made him face consequences earlier in life, they wouldn't be where they are now. He's going to jail anyway, so let him. They are the classic case of setting themselves on fire to keep someone warm. He's not the golden child. He is the family disappointment. They just baby him. What excuse are your parents going to use when your brother kills someone? Don't know, don't care. I'm out. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother to leave my portion of the inheritance and farm to my children instead of my husband? I, 38 female, am not wealthy, but my parents own a farm that has been in our family for a long time. It's not a flashy or highly profitable property, but it has deep sentimental value, and my parents have always been clear that they want it to stay in the family if at all possible. One day, my husband, 38 male, and I were talking about long-term plans in the future, and the subject of the farm came up. During that conversation, he said that if the farm ever came to us, he would want to sell it. I was taken aback. I told him that I would prefer to keep it, partly because my parents wanted to remain in the family, and partly because I like the idea of having something tangible to pass on to our children when they are older. His reaction surprised me. He became extremely angry. and said, "So we'll never get anything to make our lives easier?" That hurt because it made it sound like he viewed the farm solely as a financial opportunity rather than as a family legacy. I tried to explain my parents' wishes and told him that if it ever came down to it, I could sell my portion to my siblings instead. That way, the land would stay in the family, and he and I wouldn't be forced into owning something he didn't want. Instead of calming the situation, that seemed to make it worse. He accused me of planning to give the land away or sell it at a discounted price to my brother or sister, implying that I would put their interests ahead of ours. I was genuinely shocked by this reaction. Half joking and half hurt, I asked if he had only married me for money. I meant it as a joke, especially since I am not wealthy, but he took it very seriously. He told me how dare I say something like that, and then gave me the silent treatment. I eventually apologized for making that comment, even though it came from frustration rather than malice. He accepted the apology but said it would take him a while to get over it, which I tried to respect. Later on, when my parents brought up the farm again, I explained my husband's position to them. They asked whether hearing directly from them about their wishes would make a difference. I honestly didn't know. After thinking about it, they started considering simply leaving the land directly to my children in their wills, which aligns with what I wanted in the first place. What complicates this for me is that my husband received a small inheritance from his own family. When that happened, I told him it was entirely his decision what to do with it. He chose to put it into our shared savings, and I never questioned or pressured him about it. Now I'm wondering if I'm being unfair or selfish for wanting to respect my parents' wishes and think about our children's future, even if it means we don't immediately benefit financially. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Willing the farm to the kids is the smart move. You wouldn't want to saddle this and then have him change his mind. Just cut out the possibility of the middleman entirely. Is it the smart move, though? I don't know OP's situation, but are there going to be cash assets too? Otherwise, who is paying property taxes for the indeterminate amount of time the properties are transferred to the kids, but they can't afford it? Does keeping it in the family mean the kids are going to have to sell it anyway because of the overhead? Or is the husband going to be paying expenses for the property? Not the a-hole, but in most places, an inheritance is not community or marital property, and he would have no say on how the inheritance is handled. True, but he could make my life miserable if I don't do what he wants. He can make your life miserable if he knows you told your parents to put your children on there instead of you. If he wants to be controlling and awful about this, he will be, no matter what you do. They said that they would tell him the truth, that they were afraid he would sell it, and he could just be mad at them instead. Then that isn't a healthy relationship or marriage. If you're scared about what he may do, or that he'll make your life miserable for not doing something for him, that's not normal. I know, but I can't seem to fix it. I have tried to do what he wants. Then I am tired. Then he mocks me for being tired. He doesn't see any problem in the marriage aside from me. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom we will never have a relationship because of my cousin? I, 16 female, have little to no relationship with my mom due to her constantly prioritizing my cousin's opinion over mine. It sounds stupid, but no matter what I want, my opinion doesn't matter unless my cousin mentions it. Then it suddenly matters. For example, I've tried to do things with my mom to hopefully repair our relationship, like simply watching a TV show together. However, she only wants to watch things my cousin suggests, and my cousin and I have extremely different tastes. Even when I suggest new movies or books, she says she doesn't think she would like them. But if my cousin suggests the exact same thing, all of a sudden she wants to watch or read it. I've tried so hard to connect with her, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter unless my cousin suggests it first. My mother spends at least 2 to 3 hours every day on the phone with my cousin, but only speaks to me when she needs something. She and I are the definition of strangers sharing space. I've asked her several times to hang out or just talk, and she says she has a headache every single time. Recently, she asked me why I'm not touring my cousin's college, and I told her I didn't want to. The college has the basic requirements for my major, nothing more. I plan on getting as many degrees as I possibly can to advance my career quickly. She got upset that I'm not even considering that college, and I told her again that it doesn't meet half of my personal requirements. She's been acting upset and moping around ever since. Then yesterday, she overheard a conversation where I was talking about cutting contact with her as soon as I leave for college. She was livid. She asked me what she had ever done to make me want to cut contact. I told her it's the constant favoritism toward my cousin and my little sister, and the fact that she constantly neglects my needs. For example, about 3 years ago, I got a serious knee injury and had to beg her for 3 months to get me a doctor's appointment because it hurt so badly. Because of her delay, I now have chronic knee pain and will have it for the rest of my life. I also told her that maybe if she actually tried to have a relationship with me, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but instead she's trying to live a relationship with my cousin through me. She got extremely mad and has been telling everyone in the family about this. Some of my friends say I was a jerk for speaking to her the way I did, but I don't think I was in the wrong. Thanks for reading. That's a little odd. You mentioned your sister also being an issue, and that's unfortunate but not unusual. But is there any reason she's so focused on your cousin? I personally think it's because my cousin is the child she always wanted. I'm more of the stay-at-home, play Minecraft, while also being smart academically type, while my cousin is the blonde, athletic American dream child type. Not the a-hole. Strangers sharing space is such a heartbreaking way to describe a relationship with a parent. But the part about your knee? That's literal medical neglect. The fact that you have chronic pain now because she couldn't be bothered to take you to a doctor is horrifying. She didn't earn a relationship with you just by giving birth. If she spends 3 hours a day on the phone with a cousin, but has a headache for 5 minutes with her own daughter, she's already made her choice. Focus on your goals and get that degree. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Honestly, I've considered getting myself emancipated or having my stepsister's grandparents get full custody because I've had to beg them to take me to the doctor for the past 5 months since I need to go on a different antidepressant. Things are bad when you get along better with your stepsister's grandparents than with your own mother. Has your mother even apologized for what happened with your knee? Maybe start the emancipation process to get her attention and hopefully improve her behavior toward you. Has she ever explained why she favors your cousin over you? They actually raised me. Before I cut contact with my biological father due to him being abusive, I spent weekends and weeks at their farm, so I was quite close to them. She has said she's sorry, but it was a very forced apology. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that our bio dad isn't my dad, and if she can't accept that maybe she isn't my sister either? My biological dad has been dead since I was a baby. I have 0 memories of him, and for a good portion of my childhood, I had no father figure. Sure, my mom and siblings told me stories about him, but that isn't the same as actually knowing someone. When I was 11, my mom married Jim, fake name. He became my father figure, while my sister only tolerated him. This is when my relationship with my sister and I started to fall apart. She has always been angry about me replacing our dad. She would make me feel bad for thinking of Jim as my father figure, and said I was betraying our biological dad. Our relationship got better after she went to college. The issue started again when I was looking through old photos with my mom, and we saw a few of my biological dad at a theme park with my siblings. Apparently, before he died, he would do little theme park trips with the kids. I asked Jim if we could go to a theme park and take some pictures. He agreed, and we went this weekend. I had a great time and posted some pictures on Instagram. My sister did not take it well. We got into an argument. She claimed I was betraying our biological dad and said how dare I do something that our biological dad did with them, but with Jim. I pointed out that I see Jim as my dad, that I literally call him dad. It went on for a while, and she told me I was being a bad daughter for replacing him. I had enough and told her that our biological dad isn't my dad, that my dad is Jim, and if she can't accept that, then maybe she isn't my sister either. She went to my other sibling, and I am now being told to apologize. I don't want to. I am sick of her making me feel bad for thinking of Jim as my dad, when I don't even remember our biological dad at all. It also wasn't even the same theme park. The one we went to opened last year. Not the a-hole. Hopefully one day your sibling will realize that a ghost can't be a father, and that you're not to blame for allowing the person who is there to be your dad. It's not a betrayal, unless she also wants to accuse your mom of betrayal for remarrying in the first place. She has a rocky relationship with mom over this too. She does think it was a betrayal to get remarried. It's a betrayal to remarry after 10 years? Does your sister think your mom should have remained single for the rest of her life? Basically, she threw a fit when mom tried to donate some of his stuff. We literally have bins of my biological dad's old clothes because she freaks out anytime someone tries to donate them. There's a whole bin of his underwear that we apparently can't throw away. Everyone sucks here. Even though you didn't include ages, it's clear that your siblings are older and do remember your biological dad. She's wrong to police your relationship with Jim and say you're replacing your bio dad, but you're being insensitive to the fact that she lost her father. Telling her he isn't your dad and that she isn't your sister is illogical and clearly meant to be hurtful. Well, clearly nothing else is getting through to the sister. Also, the sister has shamed and antagonized OP for years. Enough is enough. She can grieve any way she wants, but she doesn't get to dictate OP's life. I originally agreed with that sentiment, but in another comment, OP says, "I don't care about Ghost anymore. It's been almost 16 years. I'm over it," which is wildly insensitive. Calling her deceased father a ghost is cruel. The sister needs grief counseling, but OP talks about her bio dad as though he abandoned them, which he didn't. He died. The siblings love and miss him. I think they all need counseling, OP included, to deal with unresolved grief and anger. I agree that everyone sucks here, but gently, because OP is reacting with venom and being disparaging toward bio dad. Now for the update. I talked to my grandma, and she helped me come up with a list of all the times my sister made me feel bad for having a relationship with Jim. It was pretty long, and I've decided to take a step back from that relationship. I am tired of feeling bad for having a father figure. I should not have to hide that I love my dad or be screamed at because I made him a Father's Day card. This happened multiple times, and she even ripped one of them up. I hope my sister gets the help she needs, but I am done. She is 22 and should not be screaming at me over this. My relationship with him doesn't affect her at all. For everyone thinking this was done out of spite, it really wasn't. It was me living my life, and I don't want to walk on glass around her anymore. I should be able to go on a dad-daughter day and post about it without being screamed at.